Cheese, a food made from pressed curds of milk, firm, elastic, or soft and semi-liquid in texture. Cheesed, when this low-skill Marth main grabbed me at the ledge, threw me back, and used one move to kill me. When this garbage Jigglypuff grabbed me 4 times, and I lost. When this Bayonetta dragged me to the top of the screen from 0. Wait, you're trying to tell me there's value in this? What is cheese? While this video is going to be about Smash, cheese applies to a lot of games in general. Cheese is generally regarded as a low skill option that garners high reward, something that pretty much any player could use to beat a better player because of that high reward. However, most cheese is referred to as such because it will normally have pretty well known counterplay at the higher levels. Meaning, if you were to only use this cheese or go for it at high or even mid level of the game, the odds are it's not going to work out as well. I'm not entirely sure why cheese is the term that was created, but it has stuck, and now it feels like every game that uses strategy in some way probably has its own kind of cheese. 5 bush strats in League. A Zerg Rush in StarCraft. It's taken many different forms over the years, but that connecting factor of high reward by abusing your opponent, getting caught off guard, or their lack of knowledge on how to counter the strat is continuous throughout. And I think we all know what that looks like in Smash.
Yeah!
All of these things tend to be regarded by the Smash community as cheesy, but today I want to dive into why people get so frustrated by cheese, but also why it's actually a good thing for the game's long-term health. So why do we get frustrated with cheese? Obviously, the no skill perception that I talked about earlier is a huge factor.
All these fucking bitch-made Marth players, get the fuck out of my chat!
But I think if we dig a bit deeper, it's a frustration with the design of the game, with both yourself and the opponent. At lower levels, it can feel frustrating to face options you don't understand how you're even supposed to beat. Things that just kill you, that can feel impossible to overcome, aren't exactly fun to play against, and can cause anger towards the game. When you get to mid-level, you can lose games to players you don't think you should, because they just spammed the same option.
No contest.
Yes, the meteor. Go above him.
When it gets to high level, you are obviously putting in a lot of work for every neutral win. And it sucks to lose a stock on what can sometimes feel like a coin flip. So obviously for most of the people who are getting hit by cheese, it doesn't feel good. You feel cheated, like the game is against you. Or maybe you're just not actually any good at this, if you're dying to such simple options. All of these thoughts seep in to make cheese have the negative outlook that it has. If someone calls you a cheesy player, it definitely isn't a compliment. Never is something called cheese looked upon in a positive light, more than it's something that just exists and we have to deal with it. So how could something as negatively looked upon as this type of gameplay be at all positive? Well, I want to make the argument that cheese is addicting, like brie laced with Coke. Any new player getting into Smash will normally find a cheesy option that becomes the defining nature of their early gameplay. How many Marths have you seen throw out random F smashes? Sheiks obviously looking for back throw. Falcons only fishing for knee. Steve looking for the Minecraft. I don't know, I don't play Ultimate. The list is endless, and while yes, this is very obviously not a good thing for their improvement, what it is a gateway drug into the game. You get just a taste of what it's like to body someone, and you have no care in the world if it's high skill or not. All you care about is you hit that guy and they blew up into a puff of smoke. This is what gets people hooked on the game. I remember starting in Melee, and I played Marth before I made Falco. I know. And while every time I shook my head when I got a back throw down tilt, you know for a fact, in my head, I was just laughing it up. I remember just doing it to uneducated friends and having the time of my life. That feeling is just addicting, and just a taste of what you get when you actually start comboing people. Honestly, I think this instant gratification is something I feel is missing in other fighters, where the closest you get is just a super move, which you still need to know some complex inputs for. Not like those games don't have cheese either, just a slightly higher barrier to entry for the cheese. Stun Dipper Gang rise up. Not only is cheese a good gateway for new players though, cheese has staying power. As when you rise up the levels, hitting that cheese begins to feel even more gratifying, as you have to show your mix-ups to truly catch your opponent off guard, or even better, use it to clutch a game from the jaws of defeat. Oh, it's cheese of a lifetime! Oh, it's the cheese of a lifetime! I didn't earn that win! I didn't deserve that win! Speaking of, let's talk about why. Do y'all remember EVO 2013? Wobble's run at that tournament was certainly a legendary Cinderella run. But one thing that the Melee heads found interesting was the FGC audience loved watching Wobbles.
It sucks as a player, but I think it was very actually compelling as a viewer. Because I think that Melee can be a difficult game to keep track of at a newcomer level. And that was really made clear, I think, for me at EVO 2013.
They loved the Wobbles.
There, and he's got it!
He's got
there it is! We got Wobbles in the house!
Is this what you wanted from Evo?
The fact that at any moment he could get a grab and kill his opponent was exhilarating to the audience. And also extremely simple to understand. Little guy grabs guy, guy dies is a hell of a lot easier to understand than why Mango's 10-hit Falco combo was some of the greatest art this game's ever seen. Cheese, while many think is boring, is actually something I think casual players of the game very often tend to enjoy. M2K was a fan favorite, and that guy had some of the cheesiest play in the biz. Run up F smash or run up grab. What's it gonna be today? Hope you guessed right, motherfucker! You can also categorize the types of cheese into different categories for how exciting they are. You have different build-ups to that release. Moves like Jigglypuff's up for a rest combo and Falcon's stomp knee have this build from the point of the first hit, where you know the second hit is pretty much guaranteed, but there is that room for a mess up. This small build into a release of tension is what makes that moment so exciting in a clutch situation. Some characters have semi-random cheese. Characters like Fox, Marth, and Sheik, when getting a grab by the ledge, immediately give you that spike in your tension, as a back throw could mean instant death. So whenever the character is blatantly waiting in the corner, your tension will slowly begin to rise into a big spike when that grab happens. This is similar to something like the Icy's Wobble or a chain grabber on FD, except the tension is almost constant. You know for a fact that your favorite player isn't safe, or they could make a comeback at any time, just because of the nature of their cheese, making the whole game sit at this high tension. The only relief, strangely enough, being when the grab hits, because at that point, there isn't much that can change, almost like a reverse to the other situations. And you bet when it gets to a last stock situation with any of these characters, you know that the tension meter is just going to look like this no matter what. I think the fact that some characters have cheese that levels the playing field in an instant is something really valuable to have in the game. Some of the most exciting matchups in Smash games tend to have kill setups that one character or both can use to swing the match in their favor in an instant. Meaning no lead ever feels like it's too big to overcome, making for some truly, truly exciting comebacks that for some have them jumping out of their seats and others their head in their hands, crying the night away. Hi, just want to give a quick shout out to this week's Patreons, Dan Landon, Jarek Ford, and Snugs. I greatly appreciate the support, it means a lot, and if you want to help out the channel as well, the link is down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.